Today's project is to build a new and improved bandsaw fence. A few weeks ago I built this wooden one. It works okay, but I'm not real happy with it. It's reasonably stable, but it's just made out of timber and it's a little bit difficult to get it straight. There's just a bit of flex in that timber that holds it onto the back. But I like this locking mechanism and I'll use it again on the new one. I'm also happy with the zero tolerance bed. This fits nicely over the top of the original bed. This is required to give the fence a nice flat surface to clamp onto, and the bed slides into that slot so that it sits nice and straight. So I've got a bit of aluminium scrap I'm going to use as the fence itself, and I've got a bit of fairly thick checker plate that I'll use for the back of the fence. This should give me the rigidity I'm looking for to give me a nice right angle across the face. As everyone knows, it's always a good day when you've got an excuse to use your TIG welder on some aluminium. Very satisfying. Of course, the whole purpose of a fence is to have it completely parallel to the blade, so I must make sure that I've got an exact right angle on this. And, as everyone knows, as soon as you heat metal, aluminium or anything else, things move, so checkity check before I do the final weld. Okay, so I'm not an expert welder. I dipped the tungsten a couple of times and you can see the result where the black area is. Oh well, time to go over to the grinder and regrind the tip. An inside corner joint takes more heat, and I realised that the welder just needs to be tweaked up a little bit more. That's better. It's running nicely now. And the result is a reasonably satisfying weld. I'm not welding the seam that sits on the bed so that I get a nice flat surface there, but on the other surface I will dress that weld up. With the back piece welded up, it's time to measure it for the length. I'll just run the pen under here to mark out the full length, but I'll cut it 3mm back because I'll be putting a cap on the end of this. A piece of 3mm thick aluminium from my scrap drawer will do the job to put an end cap on this. Here I'm drilling a vent hole. I need this to have the hot air escape as I'm capping the end. With the end nicely welded up, it's time to dress the welds. I'm using a 40 grit flap disc for this job. Okay, the job's almost finished. It's now time to put the end clamp on, and that'll be finished. I think I'll just rivet this on. I'm quite impressed with these little end clamps. I bought 4 of them for $11 on eBay. Job's all done. Time to give it the final test. The little clamp squeezes it nice and tight, and yep, I've got a beaut right angle, which means it's parallel to the blade. So, job's a good one. You can see here that the clamp is adjustable just with this little screw, and so it's easy to get it to clamp just nice and firm. So, the only thing left to do is give it a test cut and see whether it really does cut properly. Without a fence, a bandsaw is notoriously difficult to cut straight. But with the fence, it's very easy, even for a tiny sliver. So, another little job done.